Hello, it's Crafty Ria, and thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be doing some stamping using this stamp positioner that I got from BB Craft. And it is a plastic case. Sorry about my light shining on it. It is a plastic case. The bottom piece has a little lip like that, and the top piece is this swinging door, and it has a graph on the back, or on it. It is similar to the types that you can get, the expensive ones that you can get by some popular name brands, and they have a magnetic bottom or a metal bottom, and they use magnets to hold your paper. I got a couple pieces of washi tape to hold my paper. This has a little lip on all four sides, and let me see what it measures. It's about I bet a 6x6 square, so you can use it for most of the card sizes that we would need to use to make greeting cards. I went ahead and used it to make this. What I did was I taped this to the inside left corner, and what I noticed when I stamped is that this part here and the C of the cupcake kind of got a little more pressure. So I'm going to be using this outer corner instead, and let's see if we get a better image. I have some scraps of paper to stamp on. A lot of these are from packaging and that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in against the bottom and the right side, and I'm going to use this little piece of washi tape just to hold it in place so that piece of paper isn't going to move anywhere. And then let's go ahead and stamp some more of these same cupcakes that I used before. This is a little set. I think it's from like Studio G. And the neat thing about this is you can line your stamps up anywhere you want on the paper. And I'm just going to put, maybe I'll do the same type of thing. I'll line 4 of them up along the bottom. Similar to this one here. And I want to see how it works when they stamp on this edge rather than where the hinge is. And I'll put this Cupcakes Forever probably right across the top too. I'm going to make it look very similar to this. So you line up your stamps, stamping side down, and the part that's going to adhere to your block, that will be up. So I just have those 4 little guys there. And what's nice about this, you can line it up before you stamp. And then you just take your top and you bring it down and then just press. And then you open it up. And I always like to push on them just a little bit to make sure they are really adhered well. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same ink. It does not dry fast, but I'm not worried about drying and coloring right now. I just want to show you how it works. This is the VersaFine ink pad. And then you just ink it up on this side. And then you bring it over and just push it down. There we go. And as you can see, I didn't do a very good job of stamping. There are a few little missing pieces on there. So before I move anything, I'm going to ink this up again. I kind of didn't ink it up really good on purpose the first time because I want to show you the benefit of using one of these. Then you could push it down a second time and just be really good about pushing your image in and then lift it up, and there you go. You have your image and it lines up exactly with it the way it was the first time. If you're making a whole bunch of cards and you want your stamped images to be a certain way, like you're doing invitations or Christmas cards or something, this is great because then you can leave your stamps on this side here and just keep stamping, move your paper and just stamp a whole bunch at once. And to clean them, I have a couple of baby wipes in this plastic bag. I do want to clean my hand as well. I got a bunch of ink on me. And then I'm just going to blot these off. And then I will take those off and put those back on the backing. Then I will take this off of here and set this aside to dry, and I can color it later. This ink, the VersaFine, takes a while to dry. So there we go. I have that. And then I want to show you a couple other uses for this besides just regular stamping. If you have a really big stamp where the middle doesn't, stamp very good, something like this is perfect. And I know you can get them pretty expensively at different places, but this from BB Craft is only about $10, so it is very inexpensive. It was, I think, $9 and change. I have these stamps, which are a big solid image, and it's really important for you to have plenty of ink and to have it transfer really, really well. So I'm going to do this bottom one. I've never stamped it before. It's the first time ever I've used this one. As you can see, I've used that bird. But I have this big one at the bottom, and it's really a big, solid image. So I'm going to use a piece of purple paper. Again, on this end, I think it worked well. And I'm definitely going to tape it down. And I'm going to remember to put the stamping side down and the part that you're putting on your stamp block up. So I'm just going to put that kind of like right in the middle there. And then pick it up. So now we see I'm really going to need to tape this paper down much better, since the stamped image or the stamp really likes to stick to the paper. So I have some extra washi tape over here, some bigger washi tape. And I will put some extra there to hopefully hold that piece of paper down. And then I think I'm going to use this dark purple pad and ink this up. Now, I have not conditioned this stamp at all, so I'm not sure how it's really going to stamp. So we are practicing. And then I will just push it down and just apply gentle pressure and then lift it up. So you can see that there are still a few pieces in the center that need a little bit more ink. So this is good for tone on tone stamping. So I'm going to ink this up again. And then I will stamp this again. And in those spots that needed the extra ink, I'm going to really push down with my fingers. And we'll see how this works. There we go. And that looks much better. But it looks like I could do it one more time. And that's the beauty of this, because the stamp and the paper are going to stay in the exact spots, and you can stamp 15 times if you need. It's great if your ink is, your ink pad is almost dry, but it's your favorite color and you want to really get it on there. That would be great. There we go. And that is beautiful. That's perfect. Okay. So that's one of my favorite things about using these, because you can stamp over and over and have a perfect image. And I did not condition this stamp, but usually if you just use them a couple times, that automatically conditions them. Use them on scrap paper. But if you have a pad like this, you can just go ahead and go right to your project. So there we go. That is my favorite use of these stamp positioners. I think they are very valuable in that aspect. So I'm going to carefully remove this. And I'm going to show you another fun use for these stamp positioners. That is really cool. If you have a whole bunch of stamps already on the backing, and you want to I just picked this one out of my stash, but it might not be the best one for this example. You want to just stamp them, and you're going to color them, and you're going to cut them out. You don't need them placed on your final image. You can leave them on this backing. And let me get a piece of paper. Here's a piece of cardstock. I'm again going to tape this down. And I'm going to set this whole piece right on there. And then I'm going to use a little bit of adhesive. If you have clear adhesive that is removable adhesive, I went ahead and just ran my tape runner over top of that. And I'm just going to set that right in the middle of the paper, leaving it on that plastic backing. And then I'm going to pick it up. So all of your images stay right there. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and use this dark brown, since it has bears and owls and different things, wild animals. So I'm going to use a dark brown ink. Just ink that whole thing up right on there. Again, it's on the packaging from the manufacturer. And I'm just going to do this. And as you can see, it didn't totally work. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again. Add more ink. And the beauty of it is you can do this as many times as you need. Sometimes the backing is a little curly, and it might give it a little bent, and it might not give it even pressure. And there's still a couple spots that really need a little more ink, so let's go ahead and do that again. And I think this is because of my stamps, not so much because of the stamp positioner. This is an old set, and they've been peeled on and off many, many times. And there we go. That looks much better. And if you also want to make an image and have it as like an index in the front of your stamps, if you don't have the original packaging, or if you wanted to stamp them on here, that is another perfect way to do that. I have my baby wipe, and I'm just going to wipe this whole thing off. And then I'm going to take it off of this backing. And as you can see, most of it already came off of this. And this was a bad one. I don't know if you can tell on camera. This backing is all bent up. That's why it didn't work so good in the first one. But it ended up working okay in the end. And then I'm going to remove my adhesive from this stamp positioner. I used a little bit of Goo Gone to help get some of that residue of the tape off. Okay, so I will set those aside and take this off. And then I want to show you one more fun thing you can do with a stamp positioner. I have my paper, which I will go ahead and tape back down. And then I have these stamps. I was trying to find the perfect ones to use, but I'm going to use this Paper Hug stamps. I'm going to use this one and this one. So I'm going to start with this big one, and I'm just going to place it right on there, right in the middle of my paper. And pick it up there, and I'm going to use a really light color ink. I have this bubble gum. I think it's called bubble gum. Yes, it's bubble gum. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in a super light ink. And of course it didn't come out all the way, so I'm going to ink it up even more. Again, I've never conditioned these stamps, and usually the first couple times you stamp, they don't hold the ink very well. And it's going to need a little bit more. And that's the beauty of this. You could stamp it 15 times if you need. All right, well, there you go. You kind of get the idea. It's not perfect, but it is pretty darn good. I'm going to clean this piece off. Now, I will say, if I were to stamp this image on using just a block, it's probably not going to work the first time. And then the great thing about the stamp positioner is I can take this one with the fine line and line it up perfectly on here. So I lined it up right on there. There we go. Put this light ink away. And then I will get my black ink. This is just for an example. This is my black, and then I'm going to stamp this in black. And then there you go. There are a lot of stamp sets that have flowers with different parts of the flowers and leaves that you want to do in different colors and in different stages. So this is just one example that you can do that with any stamp positioner. And that's one of the great things about it. That would be super hard to line up if I was doing it by hand with a stamping block. Plus the background, the pink one, probably would not stamp perfectly with a stamping block on the first try. As you can see, I had to do several tries. But that way you can line up your images and get them to come out really, really good. I didn't have any handy that were stages, you know, different layered stamps, but this is a great way that you can layer your stamps really easily. And there. So we did quite a few neat little things with this stamp positioner. I'm going to leave this washi tape right on in here for the next time. So we did layered stamping. We stamped a whole sheet without taking them off of the backing. We did a really big, thick image where I had to stamp it multiple times to get the image to stamp solidly. Again, you could not do that with a stamping block. And then I had one where I positioned them in the place that I need. Also, you can re-stamp it if the first image doesn't come out perfectly. So those are some great reasons why you would use a stamp positioning tool. And this one is a great size for cards. It's 6 by 6. So a lot of these here are A2 size pieces of scrap, and they are 5.5 by 4 1/4. So that works really, really well. If you're a card maker, you can do your images right in there. You can make an index of your stamps if you want to put it in a binder and put your stamps behind it. You have a stamped image of what they would look like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and review of this stamp positioner by BB Craft. I will put the links below. Like I said, this one is very inexpensive. It is about $10, and you can really do a lot of really cool things with it. You don't really need a fancy one or a large one to do the things that I showed you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please click that subscribe button. You'll see lots of fun things on my channel. And also, please click the thumbs up. Let me know that you like it. And go check out BB Craft. I have affiliate links below where I make a tiny bit of commission if you do purchase from them. They do have free shipping on $25, and I will link that below as well. They have great prices and a whole bunch of really cool products. They really are worth checking out. Their customer service is excellent. And also, if you have a YouTube channel with 100 subscribers, you could be part of their YouTube program just like I am. You go on their website, sign up. It's really easy. You get to pick $40 worth of items. They send them to you, and you do 3 videos. An unboxing video, which you can look back. I did that about last week. And then 2 project tutorials, and this is the first one from this order. Check back next week. I have some more fun projects using their products. Thanks again for watching. I do appreciate you. And until the next video, you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.